Let me introduce our design concept. When people come into an emergency room, they felt the anxiety. We found many disconnections in a complicated emergency room. When we connect the disconnected, the patient will wink at hospital as they leave. He is 42 years old. He enjoys junk food. Suddenly he has a stomachache. He cannot stand it. He takes a taxi and goes to the hospital. Outside of emergency room, it is noise and uproar. He enters the entrance of the emergency room. The corridor is divided into two, one for the urgent patient, another for the less urgent. As soon as he opens the door, he sees the reception sign. He writes down his name and symptoms. A receptionist gives him the directions. He goes to the waiting room, the pre-examination room, triage room. There are a lot of people in the waiting room. Some people are getting an IV injection. A nurse approaches him and checks his blood pressure. Later, a doctor explains him about his symptoms. A doctor gave him a yellow chart. He is curious and asks the doctor what yellow means. He says,
You belong group 3.
that means his condition is serious, but he can still move around on his own, so he gave him the yellow chart. Yellow chart has a checklist of the processes he needs to take. 1, 2, 3, 4 are checked. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are left blank. He noticed that the unchecked numbers are his next step.
하나, 둘, 셋!
As expected, a nurse said to him, you have to go to the X-ray room. The process number 5, you can find the room in the green section. The back of the yellow chart shows a map, so he's not hard to find the green section. After taking X-ray, a nurse points him to go to the CT scanning room. The process number 6. Because it is located next to the X-ray room, he easily finds it with no confusion. He walks towards the CT room. At that moment, he felt a sudden aching. He grabs the safety bar. The bar feels soft, unlike the other bars in other places.
하나, 둘,
네!
He is injected on IV drip after CT scanning. After taking a rest and taking IV injection, he feels a lot better. And he begins to notice other patients and surroundings. After finishing on IV drip, Doctor tells him that he doesn't need to be hospitalized. He prepares to leave the emergency room. He now realizes that just being in an emergency room scared him. And he felt even more anxious, especially when coming in alone. But every time he felt his anxiety, he felt like he was given a care as if there was someone right by him.
하나, 둘,
Winning!
Thank you.
Team 1, you did a great job. I like the fact that every single member of the group took part in that presentation. Every one of you, okay? Which was really good. The first thing where you were actually interacting with the screen, I thought was a really nice touch, okay? Good acting, sometimes maybe not an Oscar level, but great acting. And there was a nice linkage between the way in which you've understood that you have to edit information so that people understand, okay, but you still gave them the opportunity to understand the whole system. So that was really nice. No? And you also kept in emergency, they said that the information is always step by step. So you've kept that step-by-step thing because I think it would be impossible to change it. But you've given them the possibility of understanding the whole structure. The presentation was really good. I think one thing you could have done at the end was you could have given a brief summary of how the whole system worked. And if you had that right at the end, you forgot the theatre and just gave a very clear description of the overall system, that would have been helpful. But a really good job.
먼저 일찍 너무너무 잘하셨습니다. 그래서 가장 좋았던 거는 여러분 팀원 모두가 한 사람도 빠지지 않고 다 참여를 했었다는 것, 그것이 가장 좋았고요. 그 다음에 처음에 이렇게 그 스크린하고 액팅하고 같이 접점이 생겨서 인터랙션이 됐던 거, 그건 굉장히 좋은 아이디어였던 것 같아요. 그 연기, 물론 오스카 수상 정도까지는 아니지만 아주 훌륭한 그 연기 좋았고요. 그 다음에 또 한 가지는 여러분이 정보를 편집해서, 그러니까 필요할 때 제공할 수 있는 그런 생각을 했다는 게, 그래서 사람들이 이해를 할 수 있게 도와줬다는 게 굉장히 좋았던 것 같습니다. 그래서 그 이하를 가면, 응급실에 가면 우리가 스텝 바이 스텝으로 그때그때 정보가 주어지기는 하지만 여러분들이 그것을 제공하는 방법에 있어서 전체 시스템에 대해서 그래도 이해를 할 수 있게, 알고 갈 수 있게 했다는 게 굉장히 좋았던 것 같고요. 그래서 프레젠테이션 자체는 굉장히 좋았고, 한 가지 조금 더 잘할 수 있었다라고 싶은 것은 마지막에 간단하게 이 전체 프로세스에 대해서 한번 정리를 해줬으면, 그랬으면 훨씬 더 좋았을 것 같습니다.
First of all, I really liked it. Thank you so much for the presentation. The thing that struck me was the way you synthesized environmental design, information design, and there was even a bit of product design in there with the handrail.
굉장히 좋은 그 프레젠테이션 감사합니다. 제가 가장 좋았던 거는요, 모든 걸 여러분들이 여기 여러 가지 요소가 있었어요. 환경 디자인, 정보에 대한 디자인, 그 다음에 그 핸드레일 같은 경우는 프로덕트 디자인도 조금 들어갔잖아요. 그래서 이런 거를 모두 다 하나의 종합적으로 같이 아우를 수 있었다는 게 굉장히 좋았고요.
I think from this step forward, if the design were to be developed further, it would take a lot of careful thought about the detail of how patients are grouped and what information is given to them when. But the overall concept, I think you said in the presentation that the patient is given care at every point that he felt anxiety, which is crucial, and I think that was a really good approach.
그리고 이 디자인 컨셉을 더 발전해 나간다면 아마도 조금 더 그 디테일에 대해서 굉장히 많은 작업이 필요할 것 같아요. 예를 들어서 언제 어떤 그 정보를 환자에게 제공할 것인지, 환자를 어떤 식으로 그룹핑할 것인지 여기에 대해서는 굉장히 세심한 그런 생각이 필요할 것 같은데, 하지만 여러분이 말씀하신 것처럼 프레젠테이션에서 말씀하신 것처럼 그 환자가 불안감을 느끼는 시점에서 항상 정보가 주어진다는 것, 그래서 거기에 그러니까 내가 불안할 때 누군가 나에게 보살핌이 있었다는 것 자체에 대해서 굉장히 사람들이 좋아할 만한 그런 표현이라고 생각합니다.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed. I think they deserve a big round of applause.
큰 박수 부탁드립니다, 여러분.